Hey guys, welcome back to this channel, and today we're learning how to make a Tic Tac Toe game using JavaScript. Okay, so we're going to be able to give a condition to tell us if it's tie. We're going to be able to reset the game. If X wins, we're able to say okay, X wins, or if O is the winner, we could also state that. So it's going to be really nice and a fun journey along the way. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm just going to put this by the side, and I'm going to open the live server. So for let's start by creating our boiler template, and I'm going to put right here Tic Tac Toe, and afterwards I would link to my style, the CSS, and I have the source code right in the description, so in case you get stuck along the way, just look it up. It's on my GitHub, right? And the link also is down. So I'm going to put link this to index.js and probably just comment this out and put script and just put it way down. Sorry, just put it way down. Alright, so I'm going to open this in our live server. Just going to have it right here. Okay, first I'm going to create a div class with header, and we're going to go on each one Tic Tac. So right, then next one I'm going to give it a box of div. I'm going to give you a class of row, and this to create each row that we'll be making use of. So I'm going to do first row, okay, and we're going to use our input tag and give it a class of 10. If you're wondering how I'm going to do this fast, all I do is simply I'm going to put input and I'm going to put a dot. I don't want to send the dot. So once I put a dot and I put btn, I simply press tab, so it's going to automatically do this automatically fill it up. We're going to give it a read only, and the purpose of read only is that we don't want to be able to select this, like we don't want to be able to type anything inside. So because what we're doing is that, right, like is the thing is the user is not going to input X. The user is going to click on whatever space they want to put X, and then X come along. So yeah, I'm not going to put read only, and you're going to see what happens. Okay, so this, see, I'm able to input something, but as soon as I put my read only, I can't make any changes. Alright, so we have our first row. Okay, and perhaps I should put this up so there's no confusion, so you get what I'm doing. So we're going to create first row. Okay, so right here I'm going to create my second row, right, and I'm going to create a div of role again, and I'm going to put an input tag, the class of button, and I'm going to give it a read only. I want to copy this down 2 more times, and to do that I'm going to click on Shift Alt and a lower button. That makes it faster. So let's create our third row. Alright, and we're going to give it a class of row and input tag with class btn. We're going to give it a read only. Alright, I'm going to copy this 2 more times down, and so we have the basic structure of HTML. Next, let's add this, the button, reset button. So outside of the div, it's the class row, the class box, I'm going to use a p tag and give it a class of result. So that's going to tell us who wins. That's what's going on right here. It's going to tell us who wins and so alright, so we're going to put player xton. Right, so I haven't done that. I'm going to do reset, a class of reset, and I'm going to put our button. Let's give the button an ID of reset. Okay, and there's it, reset. So we have the button right here. So we have our basic HTML file. So let's start dialog. So I'm going to be making use of this
Radio
Canada. Alright, and we're going to copy the following styles: regular 400 and a medium 500. Then we're going to go back and search for a font. This will be Chelsea Market, and we're just going to copy just this one. And going back to our selected families, we have it right here. So I'm going to use the import. I'm going to copy what is here. I'm going to go back to our VS Code, doing a general styling. We're going to start by giving it padding 0 and a margin 0. So padding 0 and a margin 0. In case you're wondering how this also came up with, just click on P tab and M tab. So these are padding. I'm using that width, just do W tab and H for height, H tab. Alright, so I'm going to be using the font family of Chelsea Market, and I'm currently not connected to internet, so yours might be different. So what this means that if there's no internet connection, this is the alternative that should be used. So this is the cursive font that's being used. Okay, and why this is looking like this, because I don't have an open. What we're doing is not responsive. Right, we're just doing a basic thing. So I'll probably leave it like this so there's no confusion, and I'll keep going back to it. Okay. Alright, so next, let's create our body tag and give a background image. If you already have my image, or you can use any image of your choice. But just like I said, everything is in the link in the description box. Okay, so no repeat. What's the purpose of this no repeat? So going back here, so you can see that there's something down here that's repeating. It's not looking so organized. You can see how it's been repeated. So no repeat to make everything look more same. And I'm going to give it background size cover. So just going to cover the whole page. Cover. Alright, and let's see how that's looking, and see if it makes more sense. Then we're going to give it a background position center. Okay, and we'll see how that is looking too. Okay, we're going to fix that by using our height. We're going to give it a height of 100 VH. Like I said, 100 VH will cover the whole screen, so that I'm going to give it a total width of 100%. Okay, so I'm going to give it an overflow hidden, overflow y hidden, to move any scroll bar by on the vertical axis. The margin top be 90 pixels. Okay, so we're set with the body. Okay, next we're going to give it a class. We added a class header here, so we're going to start with the header. Correct, and here we're going to give it a display flex. Want to center it, so we're going to use an item center, justify content center. So in case you've been wondering how to center a div, this is just like a rhyme, like everywhere, every time. This is like this is just what you should use. Alright, it's quite easy. If you have any other way, fine, but like this is just like it's like a rhyme, display flex and item center. Like it's basic. So just have fun with that. Next, we want to start with the H1. So header H1. We're going to give a text align of center. We'll increase the font size to be about 3 em. Give a color. I could have used white, but just feel like vibing with white smoke. I don't think this is different, but it just doesn't seem so regular for me. So we're going to use a different font family, and we're going to be using the Radio Canada family for the heading. Alright, so yeah. And it may be different because I'm not connected to internet. So it's saying that if I'm connected to internet and is able to get this font, it's going to use it. But since I'm not connected to internet, it's showing a sans serif font. Alright. So let's use a row of display flex, and while styling the row, we're going to want to put it in the center too. So I mean align items rather. Okay, and display this justify content center. Okay, having done that, let's come up here and let's style the box. Okay, so the box. Okay, I'm going to do display flex. I want to put in the center, so align it at center and justify content center. And I'm going to give it a flex direction of color, and I'm going to give it a margin of 35 pixels. Okay, so we're going to be having this right here. Right. So you can see it's still squished up somehow. So we're going to try to up that out down. Okay. So alright. So we made our row display flex, so I can give this a margin 35 pixels. Right. So we style our buttons. We style the button now. Okay. Then we'll give a button. Let's give a border 1 pixel solid. I'm going to do black. So take a look black. It's going to look. See. Then I'm going to give it a border radius of 5 pixels. I'll just do like this. Okay. Border pixel of 5 pixels. Border radius 5 pixels. We're going to give it a height of 75 pixels. Just going on. Add 75 pixels. And a margin of 2 pixels to create a space. Okay. And okay, let's fix the width. Give a width of also 75 pixels. I'm going to now use text align center. And we're going to give a font size of 50 pixels of the X and Y. I'm going to give a font width of 300 or 500 rather. Okay, so that's done. Want to work on the over effects. Okay, for example, right here you can see when I over, there's a slightly darker color when over, and the cursor is different. So I'm going to put those characteristics here. So I'm going to give a cursor of pointer and a background color slightly like a very light green. So I'm going to use 240, 240, 240. This is a wording where all these colors are coming from. You can search for the type of color you want online and use the color they give. So this disabled, we are going to be implementing it. You can see that in our index.html file, we don't have any class disabled. We're going to be using imputing it in our HTML file using our JavaScript. So when we mean by disabled, for example, once I click this, I can no longer click on it again. You can see showing me a sign, so that means it's disabled. So they are going to be styling the effect of that disabled. Alright. So I'm going to give it a disabled. I'm going to give it a color black. Okay. And I'm giving it a cursor no drop. When you use no drop, it's saying that we can't drag and drop anything inside it. Right. So we're going to give a result. Now let's style our result. And we're going to use our text align center. Let's align it this center. You can't see because it's currently black, so I'm going to give a color of white smoke. White smoke seems fancy to me. And font size of 2 em. Right. So that's that. Now let's start our button. Okay. And we gave our button a class of reset. So start with a class. And we're going to give a text align center. Okay. Next, we'll use the ID reset, and we're going to give a border. And this now we're starting the button itself, not the div. So we just center the div. Now we just want to start the button. So border 1 pixel solid black. Give a cursor of pointer and a color black and a background color. As when you say color black, we're talking about font color. We're going to give a background. Okay. So we're going to do a background color of white. Or should I use white? Let's just use white. Right, so border radius of 5 pixels. And we'll give you padding 5 pixels at the top and 20 pixels at the bottom, and a font size of, I think it should be font size of 24 pixels, and we'll give you a margin of 35 pixels, and we're going to give you a transition of, we're going to use all 0.1 second. We're going to use ease in out. Okay, so you can see that. Right, so now I want to have an over effect on this reset button. Okay, I'm going to do reset and I'm going to use over. Okay, and we're going to give a color white, a background color black. Okay, that's fine. Then as you can see, there are different colors for our X and O, so I'm going to give it a button and start the class button that we give. Go to O, and we're going to implement this style with JavaScript. So symbol, okay, and give a color red. So for X, want it to be red, and for O, want it to be, let's see, it's O symbol. We want the color to be blue. Okay, and we're going to impute all this using JavaScript. So we have this set, right? So let's go into our JavaScript file and let's start. Let's get some work done on it. Alright, so I think it's ready being okay. So we have to be careful. So the second we're going to make our cells. Okay, I'm going to. So I'm going to, this is where the real explanation comes. So when you're playing a Tic Tac Toe game, we've already done start it, and we're having something like this. So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slots. Alright, so that's what we're creating. I mean slots, I mean cells. Right, so we're creating the cell. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Okay, where that's it. So I'm going to let current. I'm going to close this for now because we're focusing on the JavaScript. Go to the let current player. Okay, equals X. Okay, get out of space. Now we're going to let our results. We want to do our results in such a way that we can always change the text. Yeah, alright, so that's what we're aiming for, right? So result player, we're going to use document.query selector for the class results, and then we did that. Then our buttons, we're going to want to select all the buttons, so we're going to use document.query selector for the class button. Alright, then we want to set our conditions, because there are various conditions we are to use. The conditions here, I think that's better. So there are various conditions that shows that someone wins on purposes. Okay, and I'm going to write out this following. Okay, so let me just go back here and try erasing something. Right, and we're going to be using list of arrays. And if you don't know, I want you to know now that when you're using array, the first thing there is given is 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the counting starts from 0 basically. Right? So we know that if if there's the same x, or say, how would I put the same letter x or o, assuming we get x here, x here, x here, it's a win. We get x here, x here, x here, it's a win. Get x here, x here, x here, it's a win. Get x here, x here, it's a win. So we're going to create the various conditions, and I'm going to put you guys through on how we're going to do that. Okay, so let's go back here. So this is 0, 1, 2, down 0, 1, 2. Okay, and this is 3, 4, 5. Next one will be avenue will be 6, 7, 8. Next one will be avenue will be 0, 3, 6. Next one will be 1, 4, 7. For consistency's sake, right? The next one would be 2, 5, 8. Next one would be I like it being consistent. It might not be good. That's just, and this one will be 0, 4, 0, 4, 8. Next one would be 2, 4, 6. In case you notice that if there's an error, I get something that tells me that it's an error. I use this extension called error length. So like for some of these minor errors, some errors might be might just be syntax error. So errors like that is able to identify it, but sometimes if you probably write the wrong program, it might not be able to detect that. But for errors like maybe a comma, semicolon, it's able to actually detect that. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So now let me explain this. Okay, I'm going to put this here. Right. So like we've done, so we have it here. Sorry, let me use ellipsis. So we're going to use dark. So 8. Alright. So what the conditions we've set here, alright? Why do we do them? Okay, so we're saying that what are the conditions what are the conditions for someone winning? Okay, so we're saying that if we have the same thing here in 0, 1, 2, it's a win. Or if you have the same thing in 3, 4, 5, it's a win. Or if you have something 6, 4, 8, it's a win. Alright. The other conditions could be diagonal or vertical. If you're saying 0, 3, 6, if it's the same thing there, it's a win. Okay, they are saying 1, 4, 7, it's the same thing there, it's a win. Saying 2, 4, 5, 8, it's the same thing there, it's a win. Right. Then another case, like I said, could be diagonal. Right. We're not saying if it's the case that it is 0, 4, 8, it's a win. Yes, in case that is 2, 4, 6, it's a win. So that's the purpose of the conditions we have set here. We have put out all possible outcomes for a win. Okay, so we're going to go on. So we're going to create a constant for the Tic Tac Toe game. Okay, this is like a function. Okay, so we're going to be passing parameters of elements and index. Right now, why are we passing the following? Now, the element represents the button that is clicked. Okay, so let me just put it right here. The element represents button that the button is clicked. I think that's really here. And index simply represents the position of the button that is clicked. So like I said, each of it each of it is a position. When you use positions array, you're starting with 0. So we're also targeting those positions. We want to represent them. So I'm going to say represent the position as big, please. We're going to have elements value. Okay, we're going to put it as our current player. Then we made a star for disabled, and here we're going to be applying it. So we're using disabled true. All right. Then we're going to use element the class list. We're going to use add. So we want to add you want it to be such that when they click a box, the X and the gold symbol pops out. All right. So we're saying X. Okay, we're using the ternary operator. So we had already styled our X symbol and give the color of red, and nothing else. When it's like O that's clicking, when it's autumn, you get to put CO there, right? So we're saying basically that we want to add the class name based on the current player symbol, right? So add the class name based on the current player's symbol. Okay, so we're going to have that there. Then next, we're going to say sales index. Okay, it's equals to current player. All right, the position of the current player. Okay, and I'm going to say current player. Okay, you know, ternary operators again. Let's say X. If it's not X that's playing, then it's O, and if it's not O, then it's X. Okay, sorry, this should be, yeah, right. Then we're going to want to be able to change the HTML. So we're going to say resolve the inner HTML. We want to be able to say whose turn it is. So we're going to use this to do that. And we're going to say current player. Okay, I'm going to put turn here. Okay. Now, we're able to do this. Next thing we want to do is, how are we going to know when it's a tie? So we're going to create something that's going to tell us, a program that's going to tell us that, okay, it's a tie. So I'm going to assume that it's a tie until we find an empty cell. All right. As long as there's an empty cell, it can't be a tie. All right. That's what we're trying to say. Yeah. I hope I didn't make some errors when I was saying. But what I'm trying to say is that we want to assume that was saying that as long as we find an empty cell, it's not it's not possible that it's a tie. So I'm going to equals true. Okay. So we're saying assume it's a tie until we find an empty cell. Okay. We're going to use our for. So let's I equals 0. Okay, we're going to say I less than cells. Should be less than the length of the cell. We're going to increment it. All right. Now we're saying if cells I, the index, if it's empty, right? I'm saying if the index position is empty, then it's not a tie. Its tie would then be equals to false. That's what I'm trying to say here, right? So if it's found an empty cell, it's not a tie. So it's not a tie. All right. We're going to put a break there. Okay. Then next thing we'll be saying is, so next we want to now put, okay, what if it's then it's out? What if actually there's no empty cell and like no one wins? All right, what's going to be the case? Okay, so I now say if is a tie. Okay, we want to display and tell the players that it's a tie. Let's put it's a tie, right? And we're going to, let's give it a straight face. Come here and yep, do that, right? So now after it's a tie, I want to do it in such a way that I want to disable all the buttons. So I'm saying for each button, right? And we're saying for each button, and you know we already like define some of the stuff here, right? As you can see, we're saying that for each button, okay, we want it to be disabled. So, and we already gave a star for our disabling things, and we did that here. Where's disabled now? Yeah, disabled. Okay, so disabled, and we're going to put equals true. So we want to disable, that's what we're saying here. Okay, then then we're going to come here and use our else statement. So else, how about if it's not actually a tie? How are we going to know when someone wins? So we're going to say use our for and say let I equals 0, right? And we're going to set the condition, the length, okay, and we're going to increase it. All right, we're going to select condition because the conditions, okay. So we're coming here, we're referring to this here, to the array of conditions, the various conditions that we did. So we're saying let a equals cells condition and like that. We'll say let b equals cells condition 1 and and let's c equals cells condition 2. All right, I was saying if what I was saying now, if a is empty or b is empty, okay, sorry, it's empty. All right, for consistency sake, just keep the same thing. And c is also empty, okay. Let us be able to, we're going to continue the game. All right, but how about if none is empty? So I'm saying that if a, now the ABC we have created here is a, this first part is a, second part is a, this third part is c. The first part is a, second part is b, the third part is c. So for each part here you have ABC. So I'm saying that if the first part, if the conditions that make the three conditions, like the three positions that make a player win, if it's empty, the game can still be continued. Else, if it's such that whatever is being played in these positions, if they're the same, then the player has won. Alright, so we're going to come here and continue. So if a is equal to b, and position, the first position is equal to second position, and that second position is at the same time equals to the third position, then whosoever is playing wins. Right, so come here and say result.inner.html. We're going to say player, and we're going to use a instead this time, because alright, a 1. So let's just look for a celebratory stuff here. Alright, 1. Now we're going to disable our buttons once more. Alright, so for each button, we're going to give it disabled. going to put equals true. Okay, so we have that set. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to work on our reset button. So function reset, basically we create a function of reset, and we want all, when we reset, what we want to happen is that we want all the cells to be empty. So how do you do that? So we're going to put cells, we're going to put our empty arrays here, like this. So like we said, we have 9 cells, so 1 2 sorry 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so next we want it to be such that the button's value will also be empty. So we're saying that like cells for each button, the all we want is that it should be empty. So let's do this. Go to button the value empty. Okay, so against the current player, just x, like that's how we made that, like practically setting the default player to x. And we're also going to put that we want that player is player x turn. So that's like the default setting that we're doing now, right? So we're going to put player x turn. Okay, and bt buttons for each. Okay, bit n. So we're going to, we don't want it to be disabled. Like when we start the game initially, we don't want anything to be disabled. So we're going to put disabled is equals to false. Sorry, is equals to false. Okay, we have that set. So we're going to say document.get.query selector. Our reset button. Okay, so give it an ID of reset. Okay, we're going to add an event listener to listen for any click, because we want all this to play out after there's a click on the reset button. So adding add event listener, and we're listening for a click, right? And we're going to say reset. Okay, and for each button, let's say for each btn button and like each index too. Okay, we're adding an event listener for a click, right? And once there's a click on each button, we want the function that we created for Tic Tac Toe to start working, start getting played out. Alright, so we are done. So let's see the out. Okay, just going to refresh this, and we can see we are able to play a game, to player x1. So while we're doing this, and you can see it's working perfectly, right? It's so sweet. Then it's a tie. Then if O wins, we're able to say I'm trying to make O. I actually wanted to make O win. I don't know why. Alright, okay, let me make O to win X O. I should put an X here. Yeah, yes, player O. So basically, I've come to the end of this video. So please like, share, and subscribe to my videos, and click on the notification bell so you get updated on anything. So I post videos every week, so new interesting videos that you can learn and practice and upgrade your skills. So thanks for watching this video. I'm so glad that you watched it. I love you all, and have a great time.